Hi, hi. This is Dana, and this is a video picking up the topic from the previous video, specifically about union between man and woman. It's rather late here, so I came back to this topic, and I wanted to do this before I go to bed, just because I didn't feel at peace with everything that I said. Videos are uh, short and I cannot express everything. So there are a few topics, a few issues which I really, really wanted to emphasize in connection to the previous video before I move on into making detailed descriptions in separate videos about what God showed me in different times related to unions between man and woman. But before we go into those divine logic explanations, I just wanted to give a little bit more information on the background of these choices that you're making. And just in order to make sure that it's clear enough to everyone, I just wanted to refer to a few issues which are really important in your process of decision making. Um, Briefly, we all talk about the matrix and about strict societies and occult practices done to steal your rights, and essentially it comes down to stealing your rights and your status in hierarchy, in spiritual hierarchy, first of all, which of course at the end of the day come down into material existence goods, but the status in spiritual hierarchy is of a special interest to them. Now, what I want to point out is all of this is part of a war playing out currently for many years already among outer cosmos extraterrestrial forces. This is a war for domination and supremacy on Earth. I will start at some point separate videos in talking about these issues, more from an astrology perspective, and focused on the extraterrestrial forms of existence. But for now, it's important to keep in mind that all this matrix, which we all refer to, essentially is connected to this war led by extraterrestrial forces for domination and supremacy on Earth. We are talking about different races of existence, okay? We're not talking about different races of humans, to be very specific, but there are different races of forms of existence, okay? And again, I will get into this in a different series of videos, but for now, it's important to keep in mind that there are few types of forces, extraterrestrial, which are involved in this war. Now, many humans among us are being possessed by these forces, are being used by these forces in order to carry on the war here. Many humans essentially choose with free will to embody these forces here in order to gain better status in hierarchy, in order to gain more advantages, more support in this war, more preeminent role, and so on. This is some of them make this choice with their free will. They worship these forces, they summon these forces, they make ritual of sacrifices for these forces in order to help them to achieve all of this. Now, this is a totally separate topic which we can discuss. This might be part of their past lifetimes, inheritance, karma that they have to work on. They might, some of them are enslaved and they're not conscious of what they're doing. But this is not the topic now. We're not discussing why, who's doing what. What we are talking about is that the extraterrestrial forces are working through humans many times. And most of the many humans that, many individuals that you know in your own life, um, or politicians that you see on TV, or businessmen that you have heard of, and so on, are essentially embodying these forces. They choose to embody these forces, or They choose to work for these forces, or some of them, as I said in the previous video, already lost their souls, so they're not really the human form that we are accustomed with, but they became only an instrument used by these forces. Now, um, women in general and their union with a man bring specific rights, um, union rights, which are essentially viewed by these individuals and these forces as a commodity. Okay, this is why they steal rights. This is why they make claims on women which don't belong to them, without even talking to those women and so on. Because they use these union rights to take power and supremacy over other races. Specifically, when we talk about humans, they try to take supremacy over the lineage of God. Okay, so if you are a daughter of God and you have been bestowed upon with specific union rights, okay, by them claiming you, they get access to your rights. That means they take power over your lineage, the lineage of God. Okay. This is to sum up in a few words only, not to enter into details, but just to give you some hint of what I mean. Now, all of this is a background information, but it's essential knowledge. So you can actually make an informed decision when you decide to make union with a man. Um, any kind of partnering with a man you would make, you should have, this would be in my view the fair situation, where you would have the background information about all of this which is playing out, um, which forces working through which individual, and only when you know that you can actually make an informed decision. Otherwise, as I said in the previous video, this is just a gamble. And this is important to keep in mind, because your choice has consequences on your path, on your children's life, on your lineage of God. And this can trap you in not only in many cycles, karmic cycles, with individual and outer cosmos forces which do witchcraft at you, and satanic rituals of sacrifice, and so on and so on. But it goes beyond this lifetime. You might get entrapped into numerous cycles, karmic cycles, but also numerous cycles of incarnation, in which you will have to come on earth to fight to free yourself from those bondages, which are consequences of you just simply not having the proper information when you make that decision, or you rushing off to make a decision before you researched enough and before you broke enough bondages to have the needed information. Now, focus on 3D perception of a couple. That's a limitation, because then you don't have any of these informations that I'm referring to. Okay. Um, the 5D type of couple is not fully unraveled here. We still have a lot of work to do to break bondages, to walk on our spiritual path. We still have a lot of research to do to understand who are the people around us, and if they are truly working with God and they are loyal to the lineage of God, or they embody or serve for extraterrestrial forces which are essentially fighting against God. Okay, this is very important to know, um, because you have to have this information to make an informed decision. And this is, as I said, a background information. I was not planning to talk about these topics yet. As I said, I was planning to later on to make a series of videos rooted in astrology research and investigation, where I would talk about more about these extraterrestrial forces, so you'll have more information. I just felt like if God pushed me to talk about a union between man and woman right now, and since I expressed my view in the previous video, I felt like this information is necessary, so I can justify, first of all, my choice, but also I feel like it's the fair thing to do, as long as I know all of this, to share it with everybody, just to have peace of mind, and to know that whoever is interested in having a broader and higher perspective over things, and to make an informed decision, would at least have a hint of all of this, so they can do their own research, or at least to just be very cautious when you make choices, and truly ask divine guidance, because there's so much more that we don't know yet. And there is another thing that also, I've been talking only about what is happening, but also you have to think of the future. When you choose a man for a union, you need to make sure that once that man gets access to your uh, union rights, certain number of attacks will come at him, because that will upgrade him in hierarchy automatically. um, and you must make sure that that man is conscient about all of this, and he's loyal enough that he will fight against those attacks, and he will not betray you. So this is also one of the concerns which is at the basis of matriarchat, claiming matriarchat, because many men are not in the position to carry on this fight, or simply they're just not in that point of their spiritual journey where they know enough about themselves or about how to carry on these fights, or simply they just didn't mount up the courage or the determination to give up 3D completely, or there are so many other rationales for this. But at this point in time, I'm just going to leave it here. This information, as I said, is mainly in order to for me to have peace of mind that whoever is really interested to make an informed decision has at least some idea about some of the background dynamics of making a choice, and what consequences that can bring into their life. I will close this here now. Again, this topic of extraterrestrial forces and the way they affect us will be a topic which I will discuss later on. But I just wanted you to have this at least as a background information for now. So you will maybe research it yourself, and it might be part of your own spiritual path to learn about this. Um, Maybe at the same time with me, or in any case, maybe earlier than I get to do the videos. Um, I will follow up with, as I said, with the videos, with the divine guidance which I received related to union between man and woman. Um, and I will feel probably more at ease to talk about all of that, knowing that at least I gave the information necessary for a proper decision making, or at least a proper positioning of yourself towards this topic. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel to make sure that um, my work and the information gets to as many people as might need it. This truly many times can save lives, literally. Okay, talk to you soon.